Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, everybody listening to the Independent Corner. Apparently we're having some technical difficulties. Surprise, surprise on a Blog Talk Radio set thing. Jennifer Lyons is trying to call in, but unfortunately it keeps hanging up on her and saying, something about Blog Talk, thank you for calling Blog Talk Radio, goodbye. So hopefully she can call in a little bit. Fortunately, on this phone, on this landline, I can't seem to figure out a way to three-way her so we can get her on here. But maybe if it'll let me call in, I can call her up. But wait, I think she's on here. Hold on 1 second. Jennifer, are you on here?
I am.
Oh my God, that was insane. I'm sorry.
Modern technology.
I know. It normally doesn't do that, so I don't know.
It's because I'm so charged. I screw up every electrical device that's around me.
Oh, maybe that's it. Oh, maybe it's just bad luck around that.
No, it's not bad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. All right.
Positive charge.
It was Blog Talk. They do that all the time. They just have little glitches, but it's okay. You're on, so that's all that matters.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right. So I guess everybody, this is Jennifer Lyons. She is the actress, now best known for being in Transylvania, which comes out tomorrow, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Since we're going to work our way up in your career, because you have a lengthy career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking on your IMDb again and going, holy crap. I don't know. We can't really talk about everything, or that would take longer than an hour. So let's just, I guess, stick to the basics, and all the more popular stuff. But first of all, I wanted to know: did you grow up in Hollywood?
I grew up in Pasadena. My parents grew up in Hollywood. So and my grandparents performed in Hollywood.
Nice.
So I feel like I did.
Oh, okay. Did you always have stars in your eyes? Did you always want to be an actress?
I always loved the stage. I was a ballet, jazz, and modern dancer. Oh, I'm hearing my own voice. Let me go to the other side of the room. Okay. That's not fun to hear your own voice. I studied dance. Time I was 3, I was on stage at 7, and then I went into musical theater in high school, and it kind of transitioned into loving comedy and loving acting, which was a little frightening for me at first. Having been a dancer, to open your mouth on stage was horrifying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I always loved performing and the energy of the audience.
That's really great. And now, did you study in school, or did you take any classes, just any acting classes or anything? Yeah.
It started out when I was in dance school. In the summers, we would take these summer dance workshops, and we would do plays, and we would do a lot of acting and some singing. But then as a teenager, I went to study with my uncle, who was Roscoe on Dukes of Hazzard, the original TV show.
Nice. And
he's a master, best, my Uncle Jimmy, and he is the master actor in the family, and my aunt as well. And I think it was kind of, it was in my family. My grandparents were a vaudeville team. So I was always around this incredible musical comedy energy and these larger than life personalities. So I think sitcom came pretty easily to me. And then of course I studied more in college, and I've studied more outside with teachers for professional actors. Yvonne and Tubbock Studios is one of my favorites.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So I guess one of your little big breaks, I guess, is and my buddy Eric Sputic will probably kill me if I don't ask this question, but how is it to work on Tiger Heart?
Ah! Oh my God. that was my first. I guess that was like my first role, and it was a leading role in a movie. And you know, T.J. Roberts, who was let's just say he was 7 years younger than me at the time.
Right.
It was a bit awkward for him, especially. He was a little kid making out with this woman. It was really fun. We had so much fun, and I still am friends with TJ to this day.
That's
yeah.
Great. I was actually going to ask you what it was like to work with him, so that's great that you already segued into that.
He's such a pro, and he's so disciplined, and I really look up to people who have, you know, strong disciplines in their life, and, you know, he is a martial artist, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, he's definitely a very accomplished actor and martial artist, so
yeah.
That's a really cool thing. And, yeah, I've never actually seen that movie. I feel so bad, but I've never actually seen it. I saw Magic Kid when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, when it was on, like, I think Cinemax or Showtime or whatever, you know, channel.
Yeah.
And I loved martial arts, so I had to watch it. But unfortunately, I never got the chance to see a lot of the older.
Oh my gosh.
Try to go find those.
It's the best, you know, all these little kids beating up all these, like, 300-pound bouncers, and it's so fun and ridiculous at the same time.
Don't make movies like that anymore. Whatever happened to that? You know?
Well, Transylvania is bringing back some fun.
Well, we'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of TV, you know, and I can't even go through the list because you have a lot of TV experience, but a short list would be like Beverly Hills 90210, California Dreams, Married with Children, Step by Step, and lots more. What was your favorite show to do and why?
There's a few. It's hard to make a choice. I would have to mention two. I would first have to mention Married with Children because I grew up watching that show, and I was on the last season. And it was the most surreal experience of my life. And I was very new to television, and to walk on the set and immediately have to sit on the couch with Bud Bundy and make out with him, and, you know, Al and Peggy walk in, and I mean, it was really like being on acid. Not that I've ever done that, but and that cast was so supportive of me, and Ed O'Neill was, I mean, he was such a wonderful guy, and I came back for 2 more episodes after that, and they made me feel so comfortable in that environment, and it made me really love doing shows, because every time you work, you're usually pretty lucky to feel like you make these amazing friends for life, or this family. It's like a family for a week, you know,
Right.
And there's nothing like it.
Right.
And then the other show that I love is Action. It was very short-lived, but it was probably my favorite role as of yet. And I got to play a 200-pound actress who was once like a supermodel. And they put this 200-pound fat suit on me. And I was working with Buddy Hackett, who is, you know, one of the greats of television and vaudeville, and Jay Moore, who is, you know, words cannot describe Jay Moore. He's a great, funny guy, and so those were 2 great memories. One more great one, John Ritter. I got to work with him, and I grew up with him, so it was another one where I actually was so starstruck, and that doesn't happen a lot, you know.
Right.
But I grew up watching that and wanted to be Chrissy on Three's Company.
Aww.
So, and he was, you know, 100 times cooler than you can ever imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would be your dream show to work on? What do you watch nowadays that you're like, man, I hope somebody could book me a job on that show?
True Blood.
True
And
Blood.
I know that, you know, I love comedy so much, but I'm obsessed with True Blood, probably because it's something different. Oh, I just love all the characters in that show, and I love where they go with it. They go where nobody else has gone before in the whole vampire, otherworldly creatures of the night, you know. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that no, that's really great. Yeah, because as far as you doing a lot of comedy, it's good to know that you also want to do other stuff too. You know?
Oh, absolutely. There's a very dark side to me. I think most people that do comedy come from a dark place, and I think they use comedy as a survival skill, you know, to lighten up things in their lives. You know, I still love comedy. I miss the 3-camera sitcom. It's so wonderful to be in front of an audience. You know, if I could do something like I Love Lucy, I would be, or I Dream of Jeannie, I would be the happiest woman alive.
Actually, we have a couple chat members there, and one of them, I guess, I think either knows you personally or something, but Gabriel Stewart.
Yes, that's a friend of mine.
Yeah, said that they're going to check it out tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I think we're taking over. We've got 80 friends going to this theater tomorrow. So we've all been really supportive of each other and trying to get the word out.
Right.
Time to laugh, you know. I think the world needs to laugh right now.
I know, exactly. And like, you know, and something that's not, you know, you don't really have to think a lot for that kind of movie. It's just kind of fun and.
Oh no, yeah, no thinking involved. Just a lot of belly laughing.
Definitely a lot of belly laughing. You know,
yeah.
I guess the next question that I would have is another great part you had, and well, I guess the first time I ever saw you in a movie was Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I was a kid, I didn't, you know, when I was younger, I didn't know, you know,
yeah.
who you were exactly. But, you know, it's kind of really cool. It's surreal to me to kind of be able to interview people that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
And since Can't Hardly Wait's a personal favorite of mine, what was it like doing that film?
Oh, it was so cool. I mean, what an amazing cast, right? Who you see everywhere now. And that was what was so cool about the directors. They really saw everyone in town, and they made a point of that. They were hoping to make kind of the American Graffiti of their time, where everybody from the movie would eventually be these working actors that you saw
and they
everywhere.
They are.
It's really happened. Yeah, it really has. And it really was, you know, it was really fun. It's such big characters in real life on that show, you know. I mean, Seth Green, adorable. I mean, amazing, you know, and the girls. Jennifer Love Hewitt was wonderful. No egos, you know. That's nice when you get around people like that.
Yeah, and like Peter Fasinelli, you know, going on in like Twilight, and I was showing my niece the trailer to Can't Hardly Wait today, and she was like, "Oh my God, is that?" You know, and I was like, "Yes, it is." She didn't have to finish it, and she was like, I think she said something like, "He was so hot for a old man."
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I just saw that Degrassi did some kind of, I don't know if it was something someone edited on
Yeah, I think
YouTube.
it's somebody edited. I saw that too.
Yeah, it was like an homage. It was great, right?
Yeah, it was really interesting to see kind of like the lines being said through the Degrassi characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you know, it's such like the Can't Hardly Wait was such a phenomenon because like you said, everybody's gone on to kind of do bigger, you know, things, you know, like after Can't Hardly Wait, and I guess that was the setup, right? That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I guess everybody wants that when they're doing a movie, to have everybody move on to.
You hope so, you know, but they really got a bunch of really neat people. Great actors, but neat people. You know, everyone wants to work with a nice person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So also, I guess moving on, I want to talk a little bit about Soccer Dog.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. I want to know about that because, like, I know because when I saw that, like, in the video store, all I could think of is, like, Air Bud, like, was soccer. You know, like
yeah.
it screamed like kind of like an Air Bud ripoff, you know, at that time.
I don't think I ever saw it. Is that bad?
Well, like would have been your kind of movie that you would have went out to see anyway, like.
Oh well, I mean, I do love animal movies. I get made fun of for that. I love talking animal movies. I don't know why it makes me laugh so hard when animals talk. But no, I mean, I probably would have watched it at home. You know, I don't know if I would. You know, have to be, you know, be respectful to the movie. I know that I got cut from some of it because I had a very strange character in it who loved to go watch these kids at their soccer game, and I was kind of a groupie, and there was something kind of creepy about her. I tried to make it not creepy, but it was just an odd role. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's not awesome that you got cut though. That kind of sucks.
No, I'm in it. I mean, I'm in it. I know that some of it did because I know that it came off like, why is this grown person a groupie of these soccer kids, and I don't know, it was just very odd. Like, I didn't have a kid there or anyone in the family, you know.
You were just there.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But also, okay, well, you know, I guess moving on from that, you had also a part in a horror movie, Jack Frost 2. Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Yeah, and Devil's Prey. Devil's Prey was a really scary one. Jack Frost 2 is
like
funny.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was the director came to me and he's like, we just want to make this silly spoof, and it was a lot of fun. You know, it's funny. Sometimes you forget that things are going to be on celluloid forever or digital. You know, it was a fun time, and I actually, you know, what was really interesting about that, because I got tongs in my eyeballs from the snowman. I actually on the set all day blind, and that was interesting because I had to have the prosthetics on all day.
Right.
And that was an interesting experience that I think everyone should go through it once in their life, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting how your senses take over.
Now, so you had to pretend to be blind or something, or is that what you
I had a what?
What were you saying? Like you had to, did you have to pretend to be blind? Is that what you were saying? Or?
I had tongs gouged into my eyeballs.
Ew, that's kind of...
by the snowman. Yeah.
That's just kind of weird, though, you know? Like,
yeah.
But no, the other thing I wanted to mention about that movie was you got to kind of, I guess, did you meet Paul Kim on the set there, or...
I did.
He was also in it, so...
Yeah.
Was that the first time you guys got to work together before the dorm days?
Yeah, it was one of 4 movies. Yeah. It was. He's a great guy. He's a great friend.
Yeah, he's definitely a great guy.
Good actor too.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I've had him on the show before, and we're trying to get him on the show sometime again to promote Transylmania.
Sure
you know, hopefully with Patrick Kavanagh. Those guys together would be hilarious.
Oh my God, they're so funny together. They feed off of each other. I hope you watch the YouTube of one of their scenes from the movie. It's
yes, I saw that. That was
funny. The sheep balls stuffed. I don't know. What is it? I'm so bad. The sheep balls stuffed testicles.
Yeah, something like that. It was just gross.
Oh, it's gross. You gotta have a little gross out humor, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
You have to appeal to everybody.
Exactly. Now, since you've done so many different films, comedy, drama, action, family, horror, you know, etc., what is your favorite type of film to do? Just comedy or?
To do or to watch?
To do or watch. Either.
Totally different. My favorite film to do, I love comedy. I love very broad comedy. You know, all the Dorm Days stuff and the Transylvania is very much comedy of errors, which
right.
I enjoy. I personally, I love Shakespeare, and it really is kind of very Shakespearean, the comedy of errors. so I can really appreciate that. What I like to sit down and watch is I love vampire movies. I know that's pathetic. So does the rest of the world right now, but I've always loved dark vampire movies. I love movies set, in the Renaissance era. Dangerous Liaisons is my favorite movie of all time. I love really passionate love stories. Another favorite movie is Like Water for Chocolate. I love foreign films. I love French films because they don't necessarily have to have a happy ending. Sometimes I can really appreciate the dark side. So yeah, it's interesting because I really enjoy doing one thing, but I enjoy watching something completely different. The sillier and the more slapstick and the more clever, the better for me.
Really cool.
Big SNL fan.
You're an SNL fan?
Huge SNL fan. Yes,
Have you ever been to like the sets or anything like on?
Yes. Yeah, I was. I got to go to SNL when Will Ferrell was there. It was like his last month there, and it was so exciting. And I got to sit right in the front, and Mayor Giuliani was behind me, and I was like a kid in a candy store. I've been to the sets around LA, but I haven't been to New York too much. And it was really neat. It was like, if you're going to do anything in New York, it's like the best, next to Broadway. But but yeah, it was really, really cool.
That's
I
awesome.
enjoyed it. My big brother has always been, and my dad were really into SNL and Steve Martin and, back in the day, like the early days. And so I have all those. And I love Gilda Radner. I love those early female comedians,
Yeah, no, definitely. And
early to me.
Now, would you ever try to audition for Saturday Night Live or try to do anything?
Yeah, I haven't. Actually, you have to ask I think Patrick Kavanaugh has been interested in doing that. Yeah, I comedy. It's something I'd like to do more of.
You should,
sure.
Yeah. I guess nowadays with skits going on YouTube a lot more and doing all that stuff. I don't know if you've seen Worm and Patrick's movies that he's been doing, with Patrick Kavanaugh and everything. You should try to get more into those kind of things.
The Funny or Die stuff. It's great. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's definitely, a lot of those are really fun, to check out. So, but anyway, I guess moving on from that, your next biggest thing was doing National Lampoon's Presents Storm Days and Storm Days 2. What was your first initial thought when you were going up for the role in it?
What's interesting is that was a difficult time in my life, and it was such a great escape. I know that's really personal to take that question, but it was a great escape. It came at the right time in my life where I got to go play, and it was literally like just going to play with a bunch of kids, and it was really Danielle. I think she and I worked off each other quite well. Like two little chipmunks. And once again, I was lucky to be around some really talented, fun people and make friendships for the rest of my life there.
Yeah,
and Scott and David. Scott and David have been so supportive of me, and it really, I'm so grateful.
Right. And I was gonna say, Danielle Fishel. Had you been I guess, did you ever get a chance to work on Boy Meets World or anything, or did you know her
Boy
just
Meets
from that show?
World. No, I had never met her actually. I missed that one. Yeah, but it was funny. My dad used to call me and say, "Turn on the television. I was in the other room and I thought you were talking. I thought I heard you," and it was Danielle. And it's funny. It's funny that I ended up working with her because he always said that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys are very similar, huh?
I guess vocally, at least, I don't know. My father thought so.
Well, that's cool though. But you guys, then now that you guys got to work with each other on this film and everything, like on the first two, I guess, and unfortunately she didn't come back for the third one for Transylvania. But you know, how was it to kind of like have that dynamic together? Like, I mean, how did you guys work so well together?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of otherworldly. Like, you have chemistry or you don't, and it was immediate. It's like you immediately have this best friend. I don't know. You both want it, and I think you know how to kind of, what questions to ask and how to kind of, get close to someone pretty quickly when you have to play best friend.
Right.
And I think we did a good job at that, but we had immediate chemistry, and yeah, we could kind of finish each other's sentences right away. Scott and Dave were so happy when they got us in the room, because we didn't meet. I don't think we met until like a table read, So it wasn't like we auditioned together or anything,
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know some people audition together, and then that's how they kind of pair people together. But
right. Yeah.
That's interesting that they didn't do that, and they kind of cast you guys separately, hoping that you guys will be okay. Have you ever been in a movie where you had to play like a best friend or anything with somebody? Just you don't have to say what movie or who the person was, but like that it was hard to kind of work with that person, or
like Mean Girls. Yeah, I've been in that situation.
And did you work on the movie still, or
yeah,
you
do your best. Fortunate, I think sometimes it's a bit selfish. I think you have to put yourself out there. You have to let yourself be vulnerable, and if you can't work and have chemistry in a vacuum. The other person has to give. And
exactly.
Most people really, they try, but once in a while you come across people that don't, and you do your best and you move on. But yeah, I definitely had kind of, especially when you're younger, I think sometimes girls tend to be a little catty. You just move on from that and know you're a bigger person.
Exactly. Well, that's cool though that you've those are some of the things that you got to deal with on a day-to-day basis, with real life, like it's just the way it is. And I'm sure there's a lot of dramas on the sets that you've been on. Hopefully not on Transylvania, because I'm sure they're
no. No, Transylvania was fun. We have a lot of stories about Romania, though.
Maybe we'll get into some of those a little bit when we start talking about that. Will be the main focus of conversation in a little bit. But also wanted to know, as an actress, how do you prepare for a part you're going to play? Do you do a lot of research on your characters? Or?
Yeah, I definitely have to. I just did a pilot where I had played an astronomer who had a form of Parkinson's where she can't vocalize. You kind of whisper and mumble. And, wow. I had a lot of research to sound intelligent, and it was improv, so I had a script. So that was tough. I sat on the phone with my friend. She's like my big sister. She works for NASA, and I was picking her brain for a long time. Because I was supposed to have this debate. My God, I had to debate about space travel, and so yeah, I definitely had to do that. And then really with me, being a dancer first, I think I come from the outside in. I kind of find the physicality first, and the kind of the energy of the character. It could be like a really light, fluffy, bouncy girl, or a really grounded, dark, heavy, feeling in your body, and it may change the way you walk or hold your head, or you know what I mean, or move your eyes. If your eyes are even more focused. I think it's because of being a dancer. It's almost like a first to me. If that makes sense.
But that's great. So being a dancer just kind of helps you kind of learn how to, how to
different
do all
music.
stuff, or
Yeah, well, I mean, you're interpreting different kinds of music, you know. So, if you will, a script is kind of the same. It's taking you through an emotional roller coaster or some kind of taking you to a different place, and yeah, without words, you know. So if you physically, you know, in acting school, you learn to do a lot of things without speaking and try to. This is getting really deep, but you know, you do a lot of work like that without speaking and trying to still convey your message. So, yeah.
Very cool.
It's probably a different way of going about things.
No, that's really good. That's a great answer. I was just told that you're very worldly and that you love to travel. And you also speak French.
Oh, I speak like a 5-year-old. Yes, I love to travel. Travel is my passion in life, amongst other things. But it's been really important to get different perspectives on life and cultures. And you know, I love to eat. So traveling, I get to try all sorts of new foods and listen to new music and see art, and I think it keeps me grounded, you know, and it keeps my eyes and ears and mind open to the world and different people in the world. Because sometimes living in Hollywood, you forget that the whole world is not like this, and it's great at times, but it's nice to hear different conversations and, you know, meet different walks of life.
Oh, very. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, traveling I guess that must also help you as an actress to kind of,
I think so. I think the more knowledge you have of other people, you know, you're probably more capable of playing a variety of people. You know, if you understand the French culture or more the European, you know, a real romantic European culture, you know, like the Romanians. They're very passionate, romantic people. I mean, that was my take on it. Some people might disagree, but yeah, it makes you more capable.
Awesome. And yeah, no, and it seems like, you know, acting hasn't like being in these movies or whatever hasn't made you, like, you know, a lot of actresses, I guess, are kind of stuck up about, you know, a lot of things, and
yeah.
You seem to be very, you know, grounded, as people have said, you know.
Oh, well, thank you. I think I got made fun of enough my whole life, including probably this week by my big brother, to stay grounded and somewhat humble. You know, I think, yeah, I try to be. I think, you know, I tend to be a little bit of a people pleaser. That's something I'm working on. But yeah, you know, it's important. It's important to spread love and peace and happiness. I have a little bit of a hippie background in a way, I guess. You know, my dad was a bit of I call him the Euro hippie. You know, so I think that was really important in my family too.
Being a hippie?
Just to be grounded, not to be
I was
superficial and shallow and you know, I don't know, friends and family and love around you is more important than material things, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? I sound like I'm trying out for Miss America.
Have you ever tried out for any kind of pageant or anything like that?
Oh, God. Let's see. I was a Raiderette for 1 month, and it was kind of started as a bet and a joke. And I thought it would be fun to hang out with my friends at some hotel in downtown LA for the weekend and audition for the Raiderettes or the Raiders, whatever. And yeah, it was very pageanty. Hated it. No offense to the Raiderettes. I think they're awesome, but yeah, it was not for me. Not at all. I played cheerleader, but I am so not a cheerleader.
Did you have to like be graceful and do like crazy things for the pageant or anything like?
No, we had to do like a cheer, which I grew up doing, ballet and modern, and it just wasn't for me, we had to, I don't know, answer a few questions and model some dress, and I don't know. It was an experience. I don't regret anything. I think it was a great experience if I ever play someone who's auditioning to be a cheerleader.
All right. Well, there you go. Now, I guess you haven't really been cast in too many cheerleader roles.
Oh, when I was younger, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Let's see, on Step Up, I was a cheerleader. In Brotherly Love, I was a cheerleader. I did quite a few. I did a few. I did a commercial with Ben Stiller for Japan for this drink high. We had to say it. Give some go too high. It was like some kind of malt liquor. It was really fun. But yeah, Capital One commercial as a cheerleader. It was a theme in my life. Now the theme seems to be home wrecker. I'm not sure what that's about.
Wow. All for you, huh?
I've had a lot of that lately.
That's an interesting role to kind of have to go from, from jumping from being a person who typecast you as a cheerleader, now it's homewrecker. So
yeah.
I guess that's what cheerleaders end up evolving into.
Maybe. Life may imitate art.
Definitely, but I guess we didn't talk about you and I when we talked before in our little pre-interview before. We talked a little bit about how you were in you were in Malcolm in the Middle as a quote unquote stripper, but it was a TV stripper, right? Basically it wasn't really they didn't show anything really, right? Well,
I call myself the Disney stripper. And if you want the girl who's clean cut and wholesome, and can be on in the middle of the day as a stripper, that would be me. If you want the raunchy girl, I'm just not going to usually. I don't know. I just haven't really got that role. I don't know. Yeah, I've never really done nudity, and yet I keep getting these stripper roles. I did a stripper on Desperate Housewives too.
Wow.
But it's always like the clean cut stripper with the heart of gold.
The heart of gold. The sweet stripper. Right?
Yeah, that show was really fun to say. Bryan Cranston, who is incredibly talented, one of the kindest, most giving directors I've ever worked with. I had to shoot a billboard, which that's a whole story in itself. They put it on Laurel Canyon, which without telling us, and somebody called me and said, "You're on a billboard for a strip club on Laurel Canyon." And they ended up taking it down really fast because they forgot to tell us that it wasn't going to be on the stage. But anyway, when I was shooting just the stills for it, Bryan Cranston was posing in all the poses first to show me, and I just was dying because he's such an amazing guy, but he's so down to earth and cool. And that was a really fun shoot, really neat.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he directed that episode too as well?
Yeah, he directed it. Yeah, he directed it.
Oh,
I love his new show, Breaking Bad. I love it. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to audition for that show, or?
I haven't auditioned for it. I don't think there's really been anything for me on it. I know Aaron on there too. It's a pretty gritty show. I don't know. Have you seen it?
No, I know about it and everything, and it's on AMC or something, or
yeah, I believe so, and like
Mad Men. It's like one of those kind of, which
but they have like a meth lab, So I'm not usually called in to work in a meth lab,
Well, I mean, you never know,
You could. Hey, why not?
Hey, if they want to cast you right now, they should listen to the show, and then maybe you'll be getting some calls tomorrow. You never know,
You don't. You really don't.
So anyway, but that's great that you've worked on all these shows and you've done all these different things, and
Yeah, it's been fun, it's been fun. It's nice to have a regular gig. I mean, I think everyone would love to have a regular gig. But at the same time, boy, I've had so much variety in my life. It's enjoyable and colorful.
All right. Well, I guess now let's get down to it about the movie that's going to be sweeping the nations tomorrow. And actually, some theaters are having midnight screenings tonight. I guess I know here in my town, like a couple towns away, they're having a 12:01 show. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some of the places are doing that, and so Transylvania is coming out, and everybody's really excited about this part. But yes, what have you gotten a chance to see it lately?
Yeah, we had a premiere a little over a week ago, and it was really fun. It was really fun. They had changed some of the music since I saw it last, and I liked the choices a lot. And it's always funny to me. I don't care how many times I see it. It's always funny. It's a belly laughing movie, and it is just so much fun, and I love all the people in it, so they make me laugh even harder. All the characters are so intense and so passionate and so like their own, really they embody each character so well,
Yeah, definitely. Now, I guess is Transylvania, like, is that R rating or PG-13?
Yes.
R?
Yes.
Now, I'm surprised they didn't try to go PG-13 for, like, a movie like that, because they did do a lot of kind of, like, the trailer makes it seem like it could be something that's, like, kids enjoy. But
don't quote me. Gosh, I guess I should know that. It's not something I've paid attention to. But, it's like, they wanted a little bit of, let's put it this way. I have to say, I Can't Hardly Wait was an amazing movie. If you go back and get the new DVD, I believe there's the director's cut, and the director's cut was R-rated. And
right.
To be honest, so many jokes were lost in the PG version. I thought, so.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check the R-rated version because I didn't even know that was.
Oh my God! I mean, some of the stuff was hysterical, and I couldn't believe it was gone. So, I think it would be nice to reach a younger audience, but some of the content, there's content, it's good the way it is, So they didn't want to clean it up too much.
Nice.
Yeah. It's beautiful. There is some nudity, and it's very beautiful, and I can appreciate it. It was not gratuitous by any means, and like I think the women look really exotic and erotic and gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely, and like I'm sure it doesn't have a. It's not meant to be like like gratuitous nudity. Like you see movies like that just throw them in there because they know that'll attract people, but. Even a lot of the Dorm Days stuff, they never really. That's not how they made it. It always had a point to being in there. Even like the dream sequence in Dorm Days had a point as to why it was there. It wasn't.
Well, and it's funny. I mean, let's face it, nudity can be really funny.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. Gotta laugh.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
And now, what was it like? I guess you got to work with Oren, in the second one. He kind of like, from what Worm and Patrick had told me last week, he kind of took over for basically for was it Patrick?
Oh,
Renna.
Patrick Renna. Yeah, Patrick Renna.
And but Oren, I guess he got to play Radu as well, so he got to do two parts. But basically, did your character basically fall in love with his character, the twin version of him?
Well, no, you haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I haven't really.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a complicated answer. You kind of have to see it, but I don't want to give too much away. But I play two characters, and one of the characters is his long-lost love of his life.
Oh.
And her soul has emerged from a magic music box, and she's come to find her love of her life. And he senses that she's there, and he's looking all over the castle for her. It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
That sounds really awesome. And I don't think that was spoilerish enough, so that's good. You know, it didn't. It was good enough to entice people to go check that out. But
it's very. Yes, we both played two sexy characters. It was fun because I get to play a complete dork, and then it was just like this very like old soul. You know, it was great.
Now, was that kind of hard to do to play two different characters who completely opposite of each other in the same day?
It was a little intimidating when I got the script. There's a scene where I flip in and out of both characters. And it was quite intimidating, and you never know. You know, you're doing it, and you hope that it's coming across well. And I'm proud of it. And it was kind of like what I was saying before. I had this light, airy, bubble, you know, dorky girl, and then I would switch into this 15th century Romanian sorceress, and I felt like a really strong, intense tango dancer. That's kind of where that character came from, the physicalities of it, you know. And I had to study a Romanian accent. Both Orrin and I had to study Romanian accents and use them in film, which was a whole other element that I'd never really done before. I've done Southern before, but that comes quite easily. So that was really cool.
How did you learn that? Did you have to like listen to people or?
Yeah, we had coaches, and they were on the set, and I listened to my MP3 all the time, and I love language though, and accents, so I think it came pretty easily. That came more easily to me than having to switch in and out of character. It was tough.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now I guess the other thing about it was let's see, what do you think that the series, your character, has evolved, or has she pretty much stayed the same, like throughout the series of the Dorm Daze movies?
That's an interesting question. I think Lynn has evolved as much as she possibly can. She's very innocent. She's evolved in the sense that she's looking to explore new arenas, if you will, with her boyfriend in this one. She's very adventurous and really into role playing, we find out in this one. I guess, in her own way, she has evolved. She doesn't have a lot going on upstairs, But you gotta love her. She's very endearing.
Yeah, even in the first one, like, there's more to her than what what was even probably allowed on the screen. You could tell there was more to that character, which is great to have you back in the second one, Like, you're going to explore a little bit more. And now in the third one, it was probably like, now we can, we can go even further, we can do something.
Yeah. And when they get a hold of this book called the Codex Eroticon, she really explores new areas.
Well, and everybody check that out tomorrow or tonight.
It's wild. It's great. Yeah. That's her whole reason. That's Lynn is in Romania with her boyfriend Newmar to explore new things and open up new realms of sexual ecstasy. Sorry, that's a quote.
No, and the thing about that is, I guess you had talked about how you don't do nudity, and we had to talk about that before about the reasons, the reasons about it or whatever. But the thing I wanted to discuss about that is how hard was it to do kind of a movie where you didn't do nudity, but there was like that kind of sexual, like, sexualness or whatever, you want to call it. How was it to do that kind of thing? Like, how did it feel like to do that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think especially with those guys, it's like it was really easy to, you get used to being in those, you get used to being in that position where it's like, okay, you're on set, out, and it's not you, it is awkward. There's a camera up your nose, and there's like, 50 people standing around watching you, but, your focus is on your character and what your character's thinking, and it becomes not you, so you lose inhibition.
Right.
You really do. Sometimes it takes a minute, or it takes, doing one scene with somebody if you haven't worked with them before, but having worked with these guys before, it was really easy. And the thing is, it's just as awkward for the other person, so you're in it together, so you kind of create a bond, and it's like you against the world. But no, it's never, I would say, at first it's definitely awkward. I'm pretty comfortable with myself and my body, having been in a leotard and tights, half my life. So I'm okay with that. You feel the uncomfort of the other person, though, So you try to I think you spend time trying to comfort the other person, and they're trying to comfort you, and then you end up fine.
All right. Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. It makes total sense, and especially the awkwardness. Now I do have to backtrack to the very beginning to one question I should have asked, but
sure.
This would relate. Is what was your first on-screen kiss, and kind of how awkward was that to kind of have your first on-screen kiss?
Yeah, it was Tiger Heart, and it was with DJ. And
so it was awkward for you? Or?
It was so awkward, and we laugh about it now because he was much younger than me. Well, yeah, and he was much, much younger than me at the time. He was playing older, and I was playing younger. And I know it was his first kiss, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I believe it was his kiss. I don't know if I'm not, I believe that's what he told me. And, the crew and the director, oh my gosh, the last scene that we shot was our big make-out scene after he saved me at the end, and we make out, and nobody yelled cut, and we went on and on and on, and all of a sudden we both turn, and everyone starts laughing, and they didn't yell cut, and they let us stand there for 5 minutes kissing, and this poor kid, So it was fun. It kind of broke the ice for me because it was the end of the shoot, and I knew everyone so well. And everyone loves you, and they care about you.
Right.
And they made it funny,
But I wanted to get to that because that's kind of segue into that question about the, segue from the question about awkwardness, doing something like that, and now being much more, being in more films and more TV, does awkwardness at all go away? When you first got to kiss somebody you've never met,
Yeah. I mean, there's a little part of you that's like, oh, oh my goodness. But then, like I said, when you're focused on what the character wants, it's not really you anymore, and I guess, yeah, you become more seasoned and you become more focused and grounded in your role. And it's not, you're both adults and you're both professionals, and you do what you're supposed to do. And yeah, you lose a little bit. Once in a while it's a really cute guy and you get kind of giggly. I mean, you're human.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to see if Is Tiger Heart, is that available anymore, or?
Yeah, well, online for sure.
Okay, I wonder if it's got a DVD of it, because a lot of movies of that time didn't really have DVDs out.
Oh no, there's DVDs. I have one.
Oh, you have one of Tiger Heart?
Yeah.
Now, do you ever watch your own films, other than at the premieres or whatever? Do you watch them at your house or anything, or ever show your friends, or?
No, it's not easy for me. It's not the easiest thing for me. I'm hypercritical. Sometimes there's certain things I can watch over and over because I just find them so funny. Like, I love watching myself in the fat suit because it just does not look like me at all. It's just ridiculous. I love it. I don't know. I mostly watch things once and move on. I'm not like, hey, let's all watch my movie tonight. I could never be like that. I guess I'm. I need to be probably more self-promoting in my career.
So you need to watch more of your movies with people?
Not necessarily watch more, but hey, watch my movie. I always am worried about the cheese factor.
Oh, well, now, is there anything that you wanted to talk about as far as Transylvania goes, or, other than for people to go check it out, but...
Yeah,
anything you wanted to kind of, about it, or...
Sure. We shot the movie in Transylvania, in Romania, and I don't think most people are lucky enough to do that. We shot it in an 800-year-old Gothic castle. It's one of the last Gothic castles standing in Romania.
Now, is it like a historical site about because Vlad the Destroyer,
Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, yeah.
Impaler. Yeah. He is obviously the thing for Dracula, but the basis for Dracula. But was that basically his castle and all, or does he live somewhere?
Actually, we were told while we were there, this is Castle Corvin, and I'm sure you can Google it. It is a castle where the Turks, I believe, tricked Vlad Tepes. They invited him to a wedding or a party, and they arrested him. They imprisoned him at that castle for 4 days and kept him there underground, we were told, until they took him off to another castle. I believe that's the Bran Castle that they've now made the real touristy site, which is nothing like our castle. Our castle was much more beautiful. So there was some history there, and it was very spooky. You didn't want to go walking around that castle by yourself, let me tell you. It was also very cold. We were shooting in 14-degree weather most of the time. So you'll see our breath throughout the movie. And I think we used a lot of our acting chops on just acting like we were warm. Some of the characters used swords. They actually learned for this movie. It was, I had to reject my brother, sorry. He was calling. They learned a sword fight for this movie. There were a lot of things we all put our heart and soul in, things that we'd never had to do for movies before. Let's see, I was shooting one of the scenes, and, I turned into this sorceress, and all of a sudden I thought there was this bird flying around my head, and I said, oh my God, there's a bird in here, oh my gosh. And then someone goes, it's not a bird, it's a bat. And everybody starts screaming, and I duck under the table, and I'm holding my hair because I think that the bats are going to, try to, I don't know, steal my hair. So we had some, it was a really, really fascinating experience,
That is crazy. You almost got attacked by a real life bat in Transylvania.
I think I summoned it by accident. I think the sorceress summoned the bat.
You were playing with magic you didn't understand at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It was such a mystical place. It really was. and the people. I did not know. I didn't know that they were such a romantic culture, and that the language was very close to Italian as opposed to Russian. I for some reason I thought it would be more like Russian. But it was a beautiful language, and the food was spectacular. And I'm going off on a tangent to food again.
Well, that's never a bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
And how was the catering, I guess, you know, on the set?
Oh, well, it was good. There was a lot of cabbage, a lot of really good cookies. We had an amazing chef back at our hotel, and I got to try Serbian and Hungarian and Romanian and Russian, German, French food, you know. We were really lucky to be in a really beautiful place.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great, though, that you got a chance to work out there, and I'm sure when you heard that you were going to be being flown out to Transylvania, you're like, oh, wow, you know, for this movie, you know.
I was excited. I was so excited.
Because you love to travel, so there you go. You got to
yeah. They had talked about going to Greece for dorm days, too. And I was like, yeah, on a boat in Greece, you know. Apparently not everyone was as excited as me. But, it's just when you're away like that on location, you really focus. You know, you don't go home and have all these other little things to deal with. You're just there, and you're there for one reason. And you know, we were living with each other 24 hours a day. We got to know each other quite well, you know.
You had no choice.
But it was such a good experience.
Yeah, I know.
And working with the crew, a lot of the crew didn't speak English, so that wasn't easy for the directors, you know. And they were incredible. The outcome was incredible. The movie looks beautiful. Everyone did their job impeccably.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I can't wait to see it tomorrow. Which is almost today. Here.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited because you know, because when I first saw Dorm Daze, I had just been a fan of Worm and Patrick's actually, and I like Scott and David, but I like them separately because of King Cobra and Pinata Survival Island, being two personal independent favorites of mine. So like going there and watching those different movies and having seen Hey Stop Stabbing Me before Dorm Daze actually, which is I don't know if you ever saw that movie that Worm and Patrick did. Hey Stop
No.
Stabbing. But it's like one of their movies they did with their friends, and it's really good. It's really funny, and it's what got me into their humor. And then I got a chance to see Dorm Daze because it came out like right after. And I was a huge fan, and I loved you guys. Everybody in it was just, you know, Jimmy DeBello, everybody, Paul, Patrick, you know, everybody that was in the series, you know, and even including like Danielle and Patrick, who unfortunately people kept kind of leaving from the cast or whatever, you know, but I guess it's kind of like summer camp. Some people don't come back, you know.
Yeah.
For the next, you know.
Yeah, we had a tight group, and I think it worked out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say about the movie thing because I had an interview with someone who's really into Twilight, and it's interesting because when I started really analyzing the two, I was like, you know, I mean, we have an action. They're both kind of action love stories in a way, and ours is of course a comedy, and it you know, Twilight can be a little bit melodramatic, and I thought, you know, ours is there's a lot of love stories going on in ours, but they're so melodramatic that they're funny, you know.
Right.
So it was interesting because I was like, you know, it really kind of I appeal to that crew as well, you know.
So you think the Twilight people will definitely get a kick out of the
I think so. I think because it doesn't, you know, it's like it doesn't take itself so seriously. It's like, oh, we get to laugh now at this, you know. And I think so because there's kind of an I keep hearing my voice here. There's kind of an underworld, kind of a really, the vampire hunters and a lot of action, which is, a part of the whole Twilight series. And then, I think so. I think everyone's really passionate, about whatever they're doing. If they're hunting vampires, if they love to party, if they're looking for their true love, if they're trying to, as one of the characters is, trying to become better in bed. They're all just very passionate about what they're doing,
Yeah, that's, and that's definitely, that's great that they have that passion, they have that love for what they're doing as these characters too. Like, they're interesting, different. Like everybody is different in the movie. Like one similar character.
We have a hunchback. We have kind of like a Dr. Frankenstein type character. The dean of the school. We have vampires. We have a sorceress. We have lovers. We have forbidden love. We have betrayal. It's like there's so many elements. There's so many different characters that you're like, wow, where did that come from? It's kind of a little bit of a young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks movie. It's a bit like that and maybe an American Pie mixed together.
Wow. Yeah. No. It kind of reminds me of Young Frankenstein.
Definitely.
I guess you're a fan of those kind of things too. So.
Yeah. I grew up with all that, for sure.
And
Gene Wilder was my first crush.
Really?
Wait, now I sound like I'm dating myself, but yeah, Willy Wonka. He was Willy Wonka.
Is that where you fell in love with him? Is there you had a crush?
I think my family should have put me in therapy then.
How old were you?
When I was teeny tiny. I think I was probably 3 or 4 or something, like maybe a little older. I don't know, but I was madly in love with Gene Wilder. Who probably a lot of your audience doesn't even know who that is, but they probably know the first Willy Wonka.
Yeah, definitely, and that's hilarious though.
I know, right?
You'd think, if somebody had to ask that in a social interview thing and on Facebook, who is Jennifer Lyons' first crush, that would not idea of a person, but that's great.
Yeah. The Little Prince.
I guess now you have different crushes, that aren't 50 years older than you. But yeah, no, that's great. That's interesting. And the fact that you've kind of adopted that style of humor too. In a way, like his Mel Brooks stuff is just.
I think so. Yeah, we used to go on camping trips, and my dad would play Steve Martin's Happy Feet, and he would kind of reenact a lot of it.
Nice.
And I think that's where I got some of my sense of humor. Just kind of wacky. And my grandparents and my family, I don't know, I feel like they were kind of always singing and dancing around the house. It was just a part of life. They all have great sense of humor. I used to go to the set of Dukes of Hazzard and watch my uncle, and it was mesmerizing how funny they were, and it was unscripted. It was a lot of it was improvised. So, I appreciate it.
Gabriel said he had to go, and that he'll see you tomorrow. I guess at the thing, and I guess we're probably gonna have to wrap it up. Actually, I set it up originally for an hour, and then we talked for a little longer, so I had to go into the thing and make it longer, so that we didn't get cut off, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that we got everything that you wanted to say and that everybody could listen to it,
Well, thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate it so much. Go see it. It's a vampire action comedy, and you won't be disappointed.
All right, yeah, definitely, and it's got different. It looks like it's got different things like levels of humor, like raunchy humor, but then there's also, down to earth humor. Yeah, things
clever. Very clever.
Clever, and from what Worm and Patrick have told me, that it is back to being a comedy of errors, which the second one wasn't, but the first one was. You know, so that's
definitely.
That it's back to being like that. So you guys have that to look forward to. But
oh yeah.
But thank you so much, Jennifer. You were awesome, and you know, and we'd love to have you come back anytime to kind of to tell us whatever's up. We didn't really even get to talk about what's coming up for you, but I'm sure you got lots of movies in the works. You know. That
I just booked something, but I thank you so much. It was really fun.
Thank you. And next time you want to talk about any of your upcoming movies or anything that you're doing or promote, just let me know, and we'll have you back on.
Okay, yeah, we have a Slightly Single in LA I'm going to shoot in a weekend, next weekend. So,
right.
Yeah, but go see Transylvania. It is going to knock your socks off.
It better be in the box office. It better be like New Moon. You know, that'd be
yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be a cult classic. I don't doubt that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll have you back on sometime, and good luck tomorrow. I hope everybody goes out to check it out and everything with you.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Man's Chinese Theater, 7:40. All right. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Jennifer Lyons, who is one of the mini stars of Transylvania. Go check that out. It's in theaters tomorrow, which is almost today. And thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show just as much as I enjoyed doing the show and having her on as a guest, and it will be awesome. Thank you so much, and hope you guys had a good one. Bye.